Good afternoon. I'm getting a review done on the afternoon instead of the evening. Yay me! It is day 29, only 2 days left of my Shocktober movie review challenge. And last night, for the review today, I watched the 2007 French movie Frontière. So let me give you some of the blether before we start. This one was directed by Xavier Gon. He has mostly done horror movies. He did, I've forgotten now, Hitman, I think, which was, yeah, he did. He directed Hitman in the same year as this one, so that's a bit unusual. The rest are mostly French horror movies. So there's a lot of people in this, so I'm only going to give you the first few cast people here. We've got Karina Testa, Aurélien Wick, Patrick Ligard and Samuel Labiha, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing those correctly. Apologies if I'm not. So this is a French movie. To my joy, it had quite a bit of German in there as well, due to the subject matter of this one. I mixed this up. I have no reason why. I watched a French movie by the name of Switchblade Romance, which I knew had an alternative name, which I now know to be High Tension. For some reason, my brain had mixed up High Tension and Frontière. Two completely different movies. So I've seen this before because I watched it with my husband and he said, we've seen this. I remembered like one scene as I was watching it, I'm thinking, yeah, this is familiar. The rest of it, I could have might as well been watching a new film. That's how bad my memory is. So this movie follows. It's set in Paris. It's the turn of an election. A Conservative candidate has just been elected. There's riots, people aren't happy, there's general unrest. A group of small-time criminals have a stash of money. We don't know exactly where that came from, where they got it, but they are on the run to Amsterdam with this money. They get split up into two groups. One group, which consists of two men, go ahead. The other is a girl, the main star of this, and her boyfriend. They follow on to meet them there. The two, I'm not going to give you the full plot synopsis, so don't worry. The two guys stop off at a hostel, bit of a clue as well because it has a similar feel in places. They stop at a hostel, and as with hostel, there's two very accommodating young ladies there that are very accommodating very quickly, if you get my drift. And then things start down a slippery slope for these two young lads. Things start to happen. They have inadvertently stumbled across a den of neo-Nazis, a German war criminal, and they like to kill and eat people. This has a very similar feel in places to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's not exactly like it, but there's a very similar dynamic with the family and like with a mother that's dithery and just like a prone figure that doesn't speak sitting there being fed, like Grandpa in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This one has got a bit more of a story to it. As much as I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the storyline's very sparse. For me, the joy of that movie isn't that it's just the feel of it. This one has got a bit more of a storyline to it. It follows what happens to these men when they find out what's going on. It follows the other two following on behind, and then they fall into the same trap. And we sort of follow through, are they going to survive? Are they going to escape? What's going to happen? And that's what the movie follows. I really enjoyed this one. It had just the right sort of mix of story, of character play, and of gore, of violence. The violence in it is pretty, I don't want to say full on because it's not like really, you wouldn't watch and go, oh my god, that was so incredibly horrific, because it isn't. But the parts that they have in there are all really, they're brutally done, they're very quickly done, there's no arson about, there's no like cat and mouse play. It's very, I'm going to do this to you now, bang, done. I like my horror like that. The blood's very realistic, the effects are all very realistic. The acting performances are fantastic from everyone concerned in this. I loved everyone. So this setup with the like older German war criminal type guy, there's a few like the muscle sort of thing, a few younger men, and then there's a few women that are obviously very subservient and in some cases frightened. And it seems that the women there are being used to create a master race, an Aryan race, which makes not much sense given that the girl that's been captured that they intend to use for this purpose is Muslim, is dark skin, dark eye, dark hair. They do make reference to the fact that that's the case, but beggars can't be choosers sort of thing, so they're going to have to use her, which we all know people that wanted to create an Aryan race would not have done that, so that was a bit strange. But I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed the hearing so much of the French and German language mixed up. I enjoyed the performances. I enjoyed the effects that were there. I liked the storyline. I like how it ended. To be honest, cannot fault this movie. I can't say there was anything about it that was particularly bad. One interesting little fact was in a scene when the German prisoner of war is talking, sorry, the German war criminal is talking to one of the captives and he's doing something on him that's not very nice. He makes reference to this as something they used to do to black slaves many years ago. And he says, Arbeit macht frei. And anyone that knows anything about their German history will know that that is what was written above the German prisoner of war camps, like Auschwitz, Arbeit macht frei, which if you didn't know, work makes you free, which just makes me sick to think of all that. I'm not going to go into politics and prisoner of war camps. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I felt the criminals, like the bad guys, were like really... They did properly make your skin crawl and your toes curl. They were just horrible, horrible individuals. If I had to rate this one out of 10, I would come in at I'm struggling between 7 and 8 here, guys. I'm going to rate this one at a 7. I did thoroughly enjoy this. I didn't think there was anything really to pick fault with. It just wouldn't be my... I loved it, don't get me wrong. I think it's a really good movie and I would really recommend it, but I struggle to pick 8s and 9s for things that I don't think are outstanding. Like examples, my 8s and 9s would be things like The Shining or American Werewolf in London or Hereditary, things like that. So yeah, a 7 from me is a really solid good score for a movie. I feel like I keep repeating myself every day. I apologise if you're watching all these. So we've only got 2 days to go. Here's a list of the few people that I sort of started this journey with. Hopefully you're following them through this journey also. Tomorrow's movie is most likely going to be Kayako versus Sadako. Sadako versus Kayako. The Ring versus The Grudge. And then the other movie was meant to be We Are the Flesh, but I'm going to have to put something in place for that one because I can't get my hands on a copy of it that is not faulty. My copy is faulty, so I can't use it. I'm not really willing to go out and buy a copy because I've heard it's really bad. So I will switch that up with something else, with another horror that I've got that I haven't seen yet. So we've only got 2 days to go. We're almost there. I recorded last night my next episode for the Three from the Grave series, which will be released in November around Thanksgiving. We are covering the movie Thanksgiving. So yeah, that should be out soon, guys. We'll let you know when we know exactly. So we're all looking forward to releasing that. So for today, 29th of October, it is over a night from Lisa Loves.